Hey there. I know you may not want to see this, and I completely understand that, I don't want you to feel forced to see this. I don't want you to feel condemned if you don't see this, but for those who do feel a pull to this video, and I believe that that's because God puts these in front of you when you need it the most. I believe that God puts these videos, not just some random dude just talking to you about something about Jesus, because of what you're doing. And if this has anything to do with what you're struggling with right now, then I please hope that you hear me out. And the thing I'm talking about is one of the Beatitudes, Matthew chapter 5, verse 8. Jesus says, "Blessed, and blessed are the pure in spirit, in heart, for they will see God." Sorry for that. But anyways, what Jesus is saying here is that, when we are pure of heart, when we have a pure heart, a heart that's of God, that's made for God, just like how Jesus had a pure heart, a discerning heart, most importantly, a pure heart, that when he looked at somebody, you may be struggling with this, but when Jesus looked at maybe tax collectors or prostitutes, he didn't immediately say to them, "Oh, you sinners, oh, you big sinners," or whatever, or like, "You've done so much bad," He didn't condemn them. He didn't say mean things to them. He instead saw their heart, looked into their heart, saw that they need healing, saw that they need help. And that's just the kind of heart God wants us to have. God wants us to have a heart that doesn't judge, that doesn't condemn, that doesn't seek the worst of somebody, instead seeks the best of them. Instead seeks the beauty in them. And maybe this is you. Maybe you feel like you've been struggling to see the best of people. Maybe you've been struggling to see how God sees. And I want to tell you that you're not alone. You're not alone in this. I myself am a criminal of this. I know. And it's not even just also looking, it's sometimes saying to people. Maybe when somebody doesn't do something exactly you want and that you told them, maybe they may not remember. But it's not their fault that they don't remember. And it shouldn't be our job to call them out on it. And I'm kind of also preaching it to myself, and because I also struggle with this. And again, maybe this is you, who constantly, when somebody does something wrong, they feel like they need to call them out. But that is not what we do. That's not what we're called to do. No, we're called to help others, to heal others, to guide others, not to judge them on simple mistakes. If you want to judge someone on mistakes, you should judge yourself. A lot of us are some big sinners, and I speak for myself. But anyways, and man, another I guess thing that God, Jesus saw in people, he did, is that when he looked at people, he looked at them lustfully. No, not at all. He saw their beauty, and he loved them. He loved their beauty. He loved if they were expressing it or not. But not in the ways of this world, but just people enjoying their beauty. And man, I know a lot of us, struggle with that, lust factor. I myself still kind of have that those temptations. Being a young youth, definitely very relevant. And I just want to say that even you, behind the screen, even if you may say, right, that, oh, I don't look at people lustfully. Maybe you do say that, And, I used to try to fool myself by saying that. And in reality, that's exactly what I was doing. I was just, for some reason, not telling myself, not being honest with myself, saying that, yeah, I do look at these people lustfully. Yeah, I do look at this or that with lustful intentions. So, man, I want to say that if we want to have a heart that will see God, because a heart that is clouded with sin, with judgment, with condemnation, with lust, with all these bad things, man, do you think we'll be able to see God's beauty? If we can't even appreciate others' beauties in this world, how is God supposed to show His glory to us, His beauty to us? So, well, I'll say that if you are struggling with these things, then I want you to just take this back, is that if you are, let's say, struggling with condemnation, you feel like in your heart you feel like, oh, you always have to call out somebody or something, or judge them or condemn, man, each time you feel like that, reflect first. Try to think of what will happen when, or before me, when you, I don't know, before you get out of bed, you think, how am I going to instead uplift somebody today, instead of how am I going to judge somebody today? Or I know a lot of us don't think about that, but just thinking of how am I going to uplift somebody today can mean so much. Whatever you fill whatever you fill your mind with, it's a lot of time how you'll be around others, you'll act around your family, your loved ones, and also for those who feel like they have a lustful heart, one that's always seeking fleshly beauties, who's always like wanting like lustful things, man. I just want you to meditate, and if you feel like you're struggling with it, I pray that you meditate and ask God about how to get rid of it. Because honestly, right, I can only tell you so much. I can only give you so many strategies, but the one who you should truly cry out to, you should truly ask to help you in your times of trouble, is God. For He has already won the fight, and I love that, is that to think that Christ has already won the battle. Christ won the battle on the cross 2,000 years ago, So if Christ has already won the battle, then all we do is have faith that He won that battle, that He defeated sin, that He crushed it underfoot. So, man, I pray that you at least leave this video knowing a little bit more, learning a little bit more, and hopefully adding just these two things maybe to your day. And so, I want to end off with this, that when we have a pure heart, when we try to not fall into lustful temptation, try not to fill our hearts with condemnation against others, and not a heart that looks at the bad in the flesh, but instead looks at the heavenly virtues of someone, instead of their fleshly attributes. when we have pure hearts, we'll be able to see God's true beauty and glory. Guaranteed. Hey, you just said it, not me. Anyways, I pray that you have a good day, and God bless.